I think these things are going to speed up so fast in 2022 that it will be very hard to keep up. Yeah, it's already hard to keep up. Sitting and aggregating some of the news and collecting things and clips and finding, and it's just like I don't have time. I can't cover if to do like a 4-hour show every day to just keep up with it, right? But thank you, Virginia Drifter. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. So let's begin with this regarding the anti-white terror attack by the Black Lives Matter supporter in Waukesha in Wisconsin. And just to underline this fact that like if this would have been a white guy, there literally would have been calls for like deploying possibly military or the National Guard and starting to just round up people that had any connection with this guy, find out what his web history is, scan through everything. Whatever he brushed up against, that they need to be arrested and questioned and all that stuff, right? So the Post Millennial had a story here. Suspect in Waukesha suspect. There's no doubt about this, right? In Waukesha tragedy, the terror attack. Come on, let's say it. Anyway, his social media filled with messages of hate against LGBTQ, Jews, whites, police, capitalism, Obama, and more. So I don't know what they're opening. I guess they're opening with the strongest point here. Look, he posted about Hitler. Okay, it's fine. We'll get to some of the things he posted a little bit later on in the article, but this is not the big thing. To be honest, he's not a National Socialist. This guy. So I'm not sure what the Post Millennial is trying here. That they found one post, I guess, and that they couldn't just help themselves, right? The majority of the brunt of these things here is that he's anti-white, he's a BLM supporter, and he had a bunch of raving lunatic posts and stuff like that. Obviously, right? We can look at some of them, some of the memes, right? Whipping white people. Here's they love to bring up this first here. But again, this I guess this discredits the very first post they have here. Hitler knew who the real Jews were, apparently, allegedly he posted, right? But then immediately it's like, Hitler was financed and propped him into power. Are also the ones that put the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, and the TSA in the USA. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But anyway, you get the idea, right? We all have the same enemy. My land was stolen by the same people. My people were exploited by the same people. My people was stolen by the same people. I guess I would assume he's talking about whites here. But, stuff like this, the cops, KKK, things, anti-police things, of course, not a big surprise there. Posted about Dante Wright shooting sparks night two of unrest standoff with cops. Here's some of the, I think that's a watermelon with the BLM carved into it there in a Marxist black power fist for you there. Anyway, so that's some of it there, right? That's some of it. Not a big surprise, but again, point being here, you can pick. There we go. See, it was the what do you call it again? The Georgia Guidestones, right? Georgia Guidestones. Well, he kind of did his part there, though, to start killing some of those 7.3 billion people that need to go. All right. Anyways, you get the idea. He posted a bunch of different stuff, and the point is, if this was a white person, this would have been all over the news, And the fact is, it wasn't. It really isn't. There's no real deep analysis of this. Many outlets, such as MSNBC, have basically dropped it, and they're even like calling it an accident and stuff like that, right? We'll talk about that in a moment, which is pretty incredible, right? But the latest victim here to succumb to his injuries, I forget how many people are talking about injured. 40, I think the last time I heard it was 48 people or something ridiculous like that. 6 people confirmed dead. And the latest of that is an 8-year-old boy. There's multiple, I think 13 children in hospital right now in critical condition. Many of them have had surgery and stuff like that. We don't know if they're going to survive. The latest to succumb to his injuries here was an 8-year-old boy who died from his injuries after and again, look at how they framed this. Waukesha holiday parade. Further, they can't even say Christmas. They can't even say terror attack. It's outrageous, right? The way they're covering this. 8-year-old Jackson Sparks, along with his 12-year-old brother, were both seriously hurt after the driver, the anti-white BLM supporter, plowed through the Christmas parade this past Sunday. Can you imagine both of the boys being the parents of them, both of them, and there were multiple sibling, pairs, if you will, that had that were in hospital and stuff like that now too. Here's another picture of Jackson Sparks right there. Beautiful young boy. Life wasted. No, there's no. I mean, there's some media outlets that do this, but on a wider scale, the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the NBCs, they're not really going into this. They're not covering this. It's despicable, because you know what would happen if the roles were reversed, right? Tamara Durand, 52 years old, all white people here, and of course it has nothing to do with race. Oh, it was kind of an accident. The way he was swerving, it's very strange. We'll listen to it in a moment here. We don't know yet, but the Young Turks said we can't jump to conclusions. We don't know what's going on here, because they never do that if the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator, is white. They never jump to conclusions then. They don't skim through his social media and find out everything, what he posted, who he followed, who he liked. No, they know. One thing we know for certain, the Young Turk said, is this is definitely not political. It has nothing to do with anything political, and it's definitely not racially motivated hate terrorism. It's nothing. We know that now, right? Virginia Ginny Sorensen, right? A lot of this is Wisconsin, so there's a lot of Scandinavian names here. Sorensen, how old was she? 79 years old, right? There was something called the Granny Squad or Parade or something, right? That they were playing music during the Christmas parade. Here we have William Hospital, 81 years old. And we have Lena Lee Owen, 71 years old. And here we have Jane Kulik, 52 years old. Marched with a citizens band float before she was hit and killed in the Waukesha Christmas parade crash. So even Wikipedia changed their term. Maybe I should have pulled that post in so you could see it. They changed it. Take my word for this. They changed it from something like the Christmas attack or something like that to the Waukesha Holiday Parade car accident. I don't know if that's the title still. I mean, it's utterly despicable, the coverage of this. Absolutely despicable. CNN at least had a piece where they covered the victims, right? We could begin with this one then. I don't think, no, this is not part of the same clip. I want to play it a little bit later here. MSNBC calls Waukesha, that's how I pronounce it, Waukesha massacre an accident. And of course, I forgot to mention this. We talked about it in the Weekend Warrior show, but obviously this is in the wake of the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict and stuff, and this is revenge. This is driven by the narrative in the media. This is being ramped up by them. This is due to the dehumanizing and anti-white rhetoric that these media outlets and the establishment is having. People in true power, true positions of influence are spewing hatred against white people. They're calling everybody a white supremacist. White people are bad. They're evil. Kyle murdered 3 black people. I mean, this is literally like what they have in some of the headlines. We showed some of them in the Weekend Warrior show, like the Independent. They still run with, this is just days ago, that he murdered, not that this changes anything or whatever in that regard, but it's like they're trying to inflict more pain by saying that it's 3 blacks that he killed, which then makes him by default like a white supremacist, right? So Tucker interviewed him over the weekend and stuff like that, and we found out he's a BLM supporter and all these kinds of things. But again, it's not really about Kyle, this thing, right? But he was even, doubting whether or not he'll be able to be protected, right? I mean, there's people that want him killed, they want him murdered, right? So this is vengeance for that. And you'll never hear these outlets being charged for any kind of responsibility of playing their role in this. What did they contribute to? Who did they listen to? We know what's going on here. We know what this is about, right? And more people are waking up to this. They're starting to realize there's more and more white people that are starting to understand what the narrative is and how they're being treated, and that they're being painted out to be the enemy. It's not everyone at once, but these kinds of things will do it. It's happening.